Good morning. It is January the 26th, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. The resumption of public sector wage talks is in the air once again. In fact, government has indicated that its negotiating team stands ready to resume. Also ready to negotiate is the National Union of Public Workers, and to them we say good morning to the President, Kimberly Agard, who joins us now. Ms. Agard, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. What can you tell us about the readiness of the NUPW to meet at the negotiating table, and what are your members asking for?
The NUPW has been ready to negotiate for quite a while. We would have hoped that by now the negotiations would have been completed, but we understand the reasons, the circumstances that would have prevented this from happening. We would have met with our members on Monday, and we would have given them an update as to where we are at with the negotiations, the stage, and what we would have done on their behalf. We would have been given the assurance by those members in attendance that they are comfortable and accept the approach that the NUPW has taken. We would have shown them the research that would have gone into the position of the NUPW, and they have given us the assurance that they are confident in the approach that we are taking.
What is the NUPW asking for?
We are trying our best not to negotiate in public. That is what we are trying to practice. We are not hearing the position of the others, and so we want to keep it that way as well. But rest assured, those members who attended on Monday would have been given that information. That information would have been shared with the members as it should be. Our members are to be updated before the public is.
What we are hearing is that government says no more than 2%. What is your membership response to that?
Pearson, if that is the position of the government, and UPW will try its best for us to change that, because 2%, even though that we have to take a lot of things into consideration, the external factors and also the economy, the local economy, we also would like a percentage that is reasonable for our members. We have to strike a balance. We have to be reasonable and we have to be responsible. Even if that is the position that the government brings, we're too early in the negotiations to just settle at the first offer from the government.
When do you think you would want those talks to resume?
We were given the assurance a few weeks ago that because the government currently is caught up with the estimates that within, let us say by now, the assurance at that time was within 2 to 4 weeks, and quite a bit of time has gone since then. So we're thinking within a week or two we should be back at the table with government.
How would you describe, from the union's perspective, the state of the industrial climate at the moment in Barbados?
Well, we understand the angst amongst the workers. We understand that we are not, we are in tune with what is going on, but the industrial relations climate for now is still quite stable. Persons may be upset, persons may be frustrated, but the persons are exhibiting a level of patience. We know that we have particular instances of work stoppages and strikes, but on the general landscape, the industrial relations climate is quite stable, and a stable industrial relations climate lends a lot to the survival of the country, as a matter of fact.
With all of this going on, I understand that you're going to be having a Founders' Day activity. Talk to us a little bit about that. What's that activity?
Well, Pearson, on Sunday, NUPW would have celebrated its 79th year. So we were founded in 1994, and we celebrated on the day with a church service at the St. Matthias Anglican Church. We did church service there with Reverend Hugh Sandiford, and after that we went to the botanical gardens and we planted 2 trees. One of the trees were planted by our longest serving executive member, Brother Roy Greenwich. He's currently still the Deputy General Treasurer. but we would have planted 2 trees at the botanical garden. And on Friday, we are having a lunchtime lecture, $50 a ticket, and the special guest speaker will be Senator Gregory Nichols. And he will be speaking on labor pains and labor gains, giving a contemporary assessment of the labor issues from a legal side. And Senator Nichols was chosen because he, for a while, has been having great success at the courts in favor of the workers. And so we thought it a good idea for him to come and expand and explain and discuss the challenges that he would have had in the court. Senator Nichols would also have been our representative in the BIDC case, and he would have won that and would have gained I think over $1 million in payout for those BLDC workers. So he has proven himself to be a labor friend, a friend of labor. And so it's going to be the first in a series of events. We want to keep bringing these type of events for the members and the wider public as well. Let's be a different side of NUPW and what we offer. And so Friday promises to be a great session. We have had an overwhelming response to the luncheon so far, and so we are hoping that with this successful event on Friday, that then we can add to other topics, other burning topics that we know that the public and the members are interested in.
All right. A discussion clearly to be continued. Thank you so much, Kimberly Agard, President of the NUPW, for joining us this morning. You're welcome too. Coming up on Morning Report, we'll tell you about a growing interest in Guyana.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Regional interest in Guyana continues to grow. 2 more Latin American and Caribbean countries are preparing to set up embassies in Georgetown. We hear more now in this TVG report.
Making this revelation was Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd during his budget debate presentation on Tuesday. Minister Todd said the interest of Colombia and the Dominican Republic in setting up embassies here signals Guyana's upward trajectory.
We have spent time between 2020 and now rebuilding Guyana to the extent that our international footprint have increased dramatically. There's confidence in the people of this country. As I speak, the Colombians are preparing to re-establish an embassy here in Guyana.
The Evening News had previously reported that Guatemala is preparing to set up an embassy in Guyana by March. Minister Todd, meanwhile, gave an update on the embassy Guyana is building in Brazil, a project inherited from the former government. $525 million was allocated in budget 2023 towards completing this embassy, which, according to the Auditor General, started off with a flawed contract.
Mr. Speaker, I have a document here and a report from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is what we have to see. The consultant reported that 64% of the project has been completed to date. Now, Mr. Speaker, this was a contract that was fundamentally flawed. knowingly, and their members on the other side, Mr. Speaker, who are sitting members of the opposition, who presided over a contract, knowing that they could not have delivered on it.
Police in the Bahamas are reporting an uptick in the number of people impersonating law enforcement officers and public servants. The situation has led the police force to issue a crime report to advise against it. Our news reports.
Public servants have identification. Police officers have identifications. Marines have identification, or members from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force have identification. Persons from the Immigration Department, all of these persons who are public servants, they have identifications.
That was Chief Superintendent Christlyn Skipping strongly encouraging the public to ask for the identification of any public officer who confronts them.
Their instrument of appointment would say exactly who they are, what their rank is, what department they serve in, and whether or not they're duly authorized to execute the services that they're trying to do at that particular time. We've seen very recently where persons have been trying to impersonate public servants, and so we thought it fitting to come to the public and let the public know so that the public can make the necessary adjustments.
She also shared this tip.
If you also feel that someone is at your home or questioning you and you're not comfortable with them and you feel that that person is not authorized, then we're asking you to call 911, call 919, speak with our dispatchers, find out if we have a vehicle in that area or if we have officers in that area who are executing maybe search warrants or who are conducting any operations. Those persons who we find impersonating public service, we want them to know that we will get you and we will put you before the courts.
Impersonating a public officer is punishable by fine or 3 months in prison.
You will get caught. The Royal Bahamas Police Force is a resilient organization. We're a professional organization. We will find you, and find you in record time. When you're caught and you end up with a criminal record, when you decide to make a change in your life, know that that offense will still be on your criminal record.
The government of Belize has unveiled a medium-term development strategy that will carry through to 2026. Prime Minister John Briceño says the approach draws heavily from the People's United Party's Plan Belize manifesto, which was introduced in 2020. The Briceño administration, with input and guidance from the Ministries of Economic Development and Sustainable Development, is leading the charge ahead of a midterm milestone later this year.
It's very exciting for our government to be able to plan the medium-term development strategy 2022 to 2026. And it's based on Plan Belize. And at its core principles, we have the issues of land, health, education, job, housing, and also fighting corruption in public life. And so, based on those basic principles, we laid out the plans on infrastructure, poverty reduction, growing the economy, creating opportunities for people, protecting the environment. So it's simply something that has started off several years of consultations that we've been doing across the length and breadth of this country. And now today, we took that Plan Belize and then our technical people, the ministries, economic development, sustainable development, all the different ministries, and tore it apart and put it together into an actionable plan. And that's what we have presented to you today.
Along with this would perhaps be some sort of a midterm review of your government's performance. How would you describe where we are at this present moment?
I think that we've been doing way better than most people expected. If I were to ask you journalists in 2020, you would have never expected us to have a 5% unemployment rate. You'd have never expected us to reduce the national debt from 130% to approximately 63%. You have never expected us to be able to get tourism back on its foot so quickly, agriculture, the BPOs, the services, and so there has been a lot. And even with crime, despite the fact that we had this hideous crimes or horrendous crime, whatever you want to discuss it, at the end of the year, and then this weekend we had another one in your creek. Unfortunately, most of this is drug related, but it's horrible and it's bad. But the truth is that you see the trend slowly start to come down.
Kenya is fighting a cholera outbreak which has stretched on for months, leading to more than 4,000 cases and 78 deaths since October. Now the government says a growing number of countries and counties have managed to bring the outbreak under control. Larry Madao from CNN has more from Nairobi.
This cholera outbreak in Kenya has affected the arid and semi-arid parts of the country's north the hardest, and there are a couple of reasons for that. For instance, in Garissa County, which has a huge refugee population, mostly from Somalia, they often live in close quarters, and that means they're more likely to be exposed to contaminated or poor sanitation facilities. The other is that the region has seen a record drought, and that means that communities there struggle to get access to clean water, which is one of the ways that cholera spreads if you consume contaminated food or water. But Kenya says the situation is getting better, and some of the country's 47 counties have managed to get cholera under control.
The total number of counties affected has been 14. 5 counties have managed to be able to bring the outbreak to total control, but we still have 9 counties which have active cases.
Kenya's health ministry says more than 4,000 cases have been reported since this cholera outbreak was declared in October, and 78 people have died. The reason it's so dangerous is because people die really quickly if it's not treated right away, because cholera causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. But the country expects to send the first batches of the cholera vaccine within the next week or so.
Well, several people have died as a result of severe winter weather in Japan. The cold snap cancelled flights and disrupted traffic after causing havoc in other East Asian countries earlier this week. Al Jazeera's Cara Legg reports.
It may look like a winter wonderland, but the once-in-a-decade cold snap that blasted Japan was far from pretty, sparking extreme weather warnings across East Asia and bringing record-low temperatures, icy conditions and snowstorms to the region, causing travel chaos in South Korea and Japan during the busiest Lunar New Year period.
It was quite a whiteout, or it felt like it suddenly turned white, so I guess the driver couldn't see and crashed.
The strong winds are believed to have caused a cargo ship to sink between Japan and South Korea's Jeju Island. Rescue workers search for crew members in gusts that broke records in northern Japan. New snowfall and temperature records were also set across the country, and just days earlier, China recorded its lowest ever temperature of -53 degrees Celsius in its northernmost city. But that didn't stop the cleanup operations on the streets.
I swept about 600 to 700 meters of snow here, starting from noon. My face may be frozen, but my body is warm.
With another cold blast on the horizon, North Korea has issued an extreme cold alert that's heightened concern for the people in the poorest areas as temperatures tumble.
Coming up at 6:30 on Morning Barbados this morning, we'll talk a little bit about resilience in the midst of everything happening around you. How do you stay firm? How do you build hope? And what can we learn from the Holocaust? What lessons can be gleaned from that? We'll be joined by members to talk about that in just a moment. The Barbados Community College has embarked on a foreign language clinic, a foreign language fair. As a matter of fact, it's happening very, very soon. Who's going to be there and how can you be there as well, and what ways can you benefit? We'll also talk about all things bright and beautiful as the Barbados Horticultural Society gets ready to have this weekend, once again, another big flower show at the Balls Plantation. All that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, Email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, and
Government's Boss Plus Bonds initiative started to pick up in the latter part of last year, with millions more being invested by individuals and entities. However, there's still room for improvement. That's according to the outgoing Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes.
In relation to the Boss Plus, I think the last figure I saw was approximately 36 million has been taken up. I think we saw in December, we saw some pickup in demand. I was speaking to one or two players in the financial system who have indicated to me that it is their intent to also increase their demand for the bonds. So I think one is seeing some progress, slower than one would have liked, but you are seeing a little bit of progress in this regard.
Commenting on the pace of the uptake of the bonds, he acknowledged that there was a lot of uncertainty following the debt restructuring, and some of those people who felt disadvantaged have not yet come back into the market.
That's the reality of the situation. Other countries have gone through debt restructurings, and they've been able to resume either their capital market, or in the case of external debt restructuring, they've been able to resume. And my feeling is that Barbados will be no different, but we're taking a little bit longer than we had hoped. I think the situation was not helped by COVID, because the fiscal program which we had identified, which was for primary surpluses of about 6% for the first 3-4 years, would have brought the debt down faster, because you would have had larger primary surpluses, and you would not have needed to do the borrowing that we had to do in order to support the budget over the COVID period. And I think from an optics perspective, if persons had seen that decline, I think that might have helped them to be more open to taking the bonds at this time.
The governor says even in the current challenging environment, both individuals and entities are still looking for investment opportunities, and he believes the Boss Plus bonds represent a productive option.
They have to believe that government will maintain its fiscal discipline. The whole notion of the debt anchor reaching 60% is critical to that mindset, because the only way to get to that 60% ratio is for you to maintain primary surpluses of a certain magnitude and for the economy to grow at the same time. So if we can get those two things happening, you are going to see the debt to GDP ratio fall. But does that mean that government doesn't need to borrow? No, it doesn't. Government will still need to borrow, because as I said in my remarks, what we are financing is really past deficits. Okay? You get a primary surplus, I may get a primary surplus, let's say I have a primary surplus of 500 million, but I may have debt service of $1 billion. So 500 of that surplus I'm going to use to finance the debt service, but I still need another 500 million. And that is really what governments need to finance. And it provides an opportunity for you to invest, but it also helps with the reduction of debt, whether it is debt in terms of the stock or debt in terms of the stock to the GDP ratio, which is really the big indicator.
Hundreds more Barbadians are turning to the Welfare Department for help on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic. Evidence of this has been revealed by the Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey. According to him, the number of clients coming for welfare has doubled, putting additional pressure on the department to respond. He gave those details during a meeting at the Radisson Aquatica to discuss the current homelessness situation in Barbados.
Our statistics show that we went from 3,000 plus clients to 6,000 plus clients, almost a doubling of the clients that we see at the welfare department. Persons who came forward for support during the course of the last few years, the pressure has been immense. You may also recall that the government had increased the welfare grant by 40% to make sure that people were able to deal with the challenges, but in the circumstances since COVID, even that may need now to be reviewed.
It was also shared that the Welfare Department has spent close to $2 million to house Barbadians in need. Minister Humphrey says that amount is close to double what the department has been spending on accommodation for its clients pre-pandemic.
The Welfare Department pays rent now for about 300 persons across Barbados, different houses, different apartments, 300 persons. And of course, there are still a number of persons who are coming forward seeking the government support for assistance with rent. And that rent payment has increased since between 2018 and 2022 by almost 80%, from $1.08 million to $1.9 million. So there is great evidence that there are circumstances that are driving people to seek housing, and that we must be able to address those circumstances.
The Garfield Sports Complex is now home to one of 5 outdoor gyms constructed in Barbados, the newest addition to the sporting and health facility. Landscape was officially unveiled by Minister of Sports Charles Griffith, the Director of Sports at the National Sports Council Neil Murrell, and officials from the Ministry of Health. The gym equipment, at a cost of $50,000 each, will also be placed at Gall Hill St. John, Indian Ground St. Peter, Bush Hall St. Michael, and Haggart Hall St. Michael. It's in an effort to promote sports and recreational development on the island. The Minister Griffith says the gymnasium location is a hub for physical activity on the island, with hundreds of people exercising daily.
We have gone to 4 locations outside of the gymnasium. There's a gym at Bush Hall, there's a gym at Indian Ground, there's one at Haggart Hall, and the last one is in St. John. Now, we believe that there are persons who would love to be involved in gym activity, but in some cases the cost is prohibitive. And government, we work as a collective, and hence the reason why you're seeing Minister Brown here this morning from the Ministry of Health. It is hoped, it is envisaged that this particular location will generate a lot of activities. With budget, government is expected, and we are planning to, through the National Sports Council, to move these community-based gyms across the country, because we believe it can benefit persons all across the country.
Now let's take a look together at what's happening in our forecast conditions for today on Barbados and across the world. At the moment, 24 degrees Celsius under partly cloudy skies with light showers. The winds are coming from the east at 26 kilometers an hour. Expect a low tide this afternoon at 24 minutes past 1. Our first high tide is at 24 minutes to 8 this morning, with a second at 7:30 this evening. Seas are moderate in open water, with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters and decreasing. Barbados today, a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few scattered light showers before mid-morning. And for tonight, mostly clear with a few brief isolated light showers. That's what it looks like for some international cities. And that's today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
And I say so too. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you, everyone. Welcome to today. It is Thursday, January 26, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you wherever you are. Thank you so much for waking up, as always, to keep us company as we want to keep you company too, and for joining us on our streams on YouTube and Facebook and on our website. It is so wonderful hearing from you all the time. Now, coming up today, yes, I'll give you a chance, if time permits, to unscramble some letters. We'll have some fun where that's concerned. We'll continue our engagement with the National Council on Substance Abuse in the month of when we take a look at drug awareness. And that food drive starts this weekend. We'll share with you details about what you can put into the box so that they can help those in need. St. Michael Deanery of the Anglican Church are having a float parade and much more. What is the much more and what is happening? We'll talk to you more about that as well. This morning too, we'll share with you about the upcoming Barbados Horticultural Society's annual Flower and Garden Show. This weekend, we'll be joined by a representative who will share with us the details to that, so get ready to look at all things bright and beautiful. The Barbados Community College will be having a foreign language fair. For who is it and who will be there and how can we all be a part of it indeed? We'll share that with you also in just a moment. But we want to get started this morning by taking a look at what's happening in the world, what can we learn from our past, and how can our past inform us going forward, and how do we stay grounded in the midst of all that's happening around us. And joining us as we take a look at that, representing the Jehovah's Witnesses, is the national spokesman, Robert Hendricks. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning, Pearson. Thank you for having me this morning.
Good to see you again. Now, tomorrow marks what they call Holocaust Remembrance Day. Share with me what that event meant and what can we learn from it.
You know, many people understand the horrors that happened during the Holocaust. And Jehovah's Witnesses look back to that, and we realize that those things have happened to the world, but also happened to our brothers and sisters. And in fact, 13,400 of our fellow believers were persecuted directly by the Nazis. Approximately 11,300 were arrested. 4,200 were sent to concentration camps. In fact, some of our brothers were the first to be in the Auschwitz concentration camp, sadly. Many of them died. About 1,600 Jehovah's Witnesses died during the time of the Holocaust. 548 were executed. And so when we look at those numbers, 1,250 victims were minors, ripped from their homes. Many were put into homes of strangers who were Nazis. It was a very, very ugly time, a very ugly time in history. But when you think about that time, the reason why this year's Remembrance Day is called Home and Belonging is because it shows the humanity of those survivors and those victims who were ripped from their homes. And we look back on that and we say, well, could it happen again? You know, many people don't even know that that happened to Jehovah's Witnesses. We know about the Jews and the horrors that happened to them, 6 million of them at least who were executed. We know about many others who were born with issues that they couldn't help. But in the case of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is interesting, they had a choice. And so we look back on that and we see their courage. They could have signed a declaration and gotten out of the concentration camp. But they kept their faith. And so it's not only sad to look back, it's not only horrifying to look back, but it also is inspiring to do that. And in these times, we need that.
And one of the lessons there is you keep the faith. Because you keep the faith in spite of the question of where is God? Where is God in the midst of all of this? And why did God allow this to happen? Is it unfair to ask a question like that?
Well, it's not unfair. In fact, in the Bible, many very faithful men like David, Habakkuk, Jeremiah, they asked the same question, how long? In fact, the entire chapter of Psalm 37 is really about somebody who's looking around and decrying what's going on. The fact that those who are evil people, wicked people, are prospering. Psalm 73, same thing, of Asaph, the words of Asaph. Habakkuk, oh God, why? How long are you going to tolerate this? How can you look at this? So it's not wrong to ask those questions. In fact, the Bible dignifies those who have asked those questions. It's really wrong not to ask those questions, not to wonder, why is God allowing this? Because the Bible does hold out the answer. If you go back to Psalm 37, you'll see that in verses 10 and 11 and 29, It'll tell you that not only will the wicked be gone, but the righteous will possess the earth, just as Jesus said, the meek, the mild-tempered will inherit the earth.
What I'm hearing you to share, though, Robert, is that in the Bible are answers for every situation. And I'm saying that given everything that's happening around us, we see devastation, we see famine, we see people clamoring for more, we see governments themselves posturing against the people, all sorts of glaring examples around the world. And so people are shaken, their hope, their resilience is also being messed up, for want of a better expression. So what advice would you give to anyone who finds themselves with these heart-searching questions about keeping that faith right through?
You know, I was just looking this morning at an article on jw.org called "Why Is Politics So Divisive?" In fact, right on the homepage of jw.org today is about racial equality, and it is true. We're living in a time that is divisive. But here's what we try to help our neighbors, our community members to understand. Number one, we expected it. And as sad as that is, as sad as the fact is that we expected it, Jesus talked about the conclusion of the system of things and how that would affect people, their attitudes. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1, all the way, I think, to 5. What a powerful, if you read that, you'll see that it describes the attitudes today. It talks about people who are not open to any agreement. Does that sound familiar? It talks about people who are divisive, people who are fierce, without love of goodness. But the Bible also talks about a hope, and that God's original purpose for this earth was not to see this, not to allow this, but to bring it into a paradise. And the Bible answers the question: why are we where we are? How can we get to where we're going to be? And how does God's kingdom play into that? Which is why Jehovah's Witnesses have, for many decades, talked about this at doors, at their meetings, at their conventions. And of course, Christians for millennia have been praying for God's kingdom to come.
Indeed so. And so, for those who are watching this morning who feel hopeless, some practical steps they can take today to begin that journey towards hope, towards resilience, towards being able to know that there is a good kingdom to come.
I think, first of all, when you look around, what's the context? It's very easy for any of us to watch the news. In fact, I just watched your news program, Pearson, and I watched, none of it is good news really, except maybe the gym equipment, right? Which was good news. But you look at that and you say, these are the things that we expected. And Jesus said, when these things start to occur, lift your heads up because your deliverance is near. What is that deliverance? What does it mean? It means, number one, that God's kingdom is going to come. It means, number two, that kingdom will really rectify the problems that we're facing. But really, how does that help me now? Well, it gives me hope. It gives me, I have to put faith in that so that I can get through each day. The Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 4 talked about these things, whatever we're going through, being momentary and light. But God gives us the power beyond what is normal in order to deal with these things. And so how does that happen? You look to Bible principles and you establish that in your life. You know what they are, and then you practice those things. And when you practice Bible principles in your life, when you teach that to your family, when you're unified as a family unit, when, as Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, that you become a peacemaker, even when these things are occurring all around you, you can remain joyful. In fact, the Apostle Paul in Galatians chapter 5 talked about joy, peace, love being aspects of the fruitage of God's Spirit. So when we're doing what's right and we're not grieving that Spirit in our life, when we're practicing the principles of the Bible, we have the presence of God's Spirit in our life, and that presence will give us a joy that nobody can take away from us. Nothing can strip from us, even though all around us may be happening, things happening that are very difficult.
That response just perfectly answers the question how Jehovah's Witnesses endure atrocities. We see it every day. We see the responses to the knock on the door, the telephone call, the approach. But because we know there's a peace that passeth really truly all understanding coming from Jehovah's Witnesses, we better understand it. But then there's the opportunity to also engage in a more personal Bible study, because I think the stronger one is, the better one is able to withstand the winds that are swirling all around us. So talk to us a little bit more about what the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing by way of Bible study and how people anywhere at any time can avail themselves of it.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, Pearson. I don't think we've discussed this before in our discussions, that we've released a new Bible study program. And that Bible study program is called Enjoy Life Forever. So those who know Jehovah's Witnesses, we're always talking about living forever on the earth. And what we've done is we've provided books over the years. And these books have been very print-centric, which is great. You know, we're the largest publisher and printer in the world. But over the last decade, we've gone digital. And what that means is that we've kind of we're meeting the learner where they are at. And so Enjoy Life Forever is an interactive Bible study program that is meant to be done with two people, between two people, having a free home Bible study. We offer that to our neighbors. We offer this publication free of charge online, jw.org, JW Library, on the Android or iOS app. And Enjoy Life Forever is a powerful publication because it's got very few paragraphs of type, but it has a lot of thoughts. In fact, embedded in that publication are thousands of videos that provide reenactments, that dramatizations, real-life dramatizations of what people are going through. It also provides us with people who have gone through the same things that we have gone through. So establishing the Bible principle, what is it? How can it help my life? And seeing somebody who actually has applied it in their life and what their advice is, this has really helped many, many people. Our Bible study program is much richer as a result of it, and many are taking advantage of it around the world. Indeed so. So when we talk about hope and we're talking about being strong enough, that's where you go to right next to Robert's head, jw.org, and you can schedule a Bible study with someone, and they'll be happy to respond to you indeed. Robert, as always, it's a pleasure interacting with you. You've brought us hope this morning to know that that good kingdom will definitely come, and there's a way to turn into the Bible to find the answers that we're searching for so that we can stay strong and resilient right through it all, as we also take time to remember the Holocaust Memorial Day and what it means and the lessons learnt from it as well. Thank you as always, Robert. Good to see you. Thank you, Pearson. Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Robert Hendricks, National Spokesman for the Jehovah's Witnesses, right here with us on Morning Barbados. We're taking a break. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to an upcoming foreign language fair under the rubric of the Barbados Community College. And so joining us as we take a look at this is Paul Blackman, who is the director of the Barbados Language Center. With him is Lamar Smith, a tutor and a school liaison officer, and also the coordinator of the inaugural Foreign Language Fair. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bonjour. Buenos dias.
Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va et vous, personne?
Merci, merci. Don't take me any further because I'll be lost. But what you've just done is spurred interest for a lot of us to be there at the language fair. Talk to me about why is it important really that we should, one, learn another language, and two, why is this language fair so critical?
I want to speak to that, and I'm going to let Lamar speak to the critical aspect of the fair. I think having a foreign language is important for all kinds of reasons. The most basic one is being able to communicate with someone who doesn't speak English. But then having that language opens you up to so much more, to the culture of the country, its food, its music, the people, its literature. You can read Cervantes in Spanish, you can read Camus in French, Goethe in German, and so on. You can get a job, if you have a foreign language, you can get a job either overseas or you can get a job here where you interact with people who speak the foreign language. So there are many, many reasons why you should learn a foreign language first. And I'll let my colleague respond to the role of our fair in that language learning process.
Let me hear you, Mar.
First of all, we want to assist in creating lifelong learners who recognize the importance of learning a foreign language. Our Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Mottley, has said on several occasions that she would like for our under-18s to be bilingual by the year 2030. And we at the Barbados Language Center intend to do our part to make that a reality. The goal behind the fair is to provide next steps for our secondary school students between 3rd and 5th form, as well as our Barbados Language Center students.
You know, I beat myself up so often because at school I wished I had taken it much further. Spanish and French were some of my favorite subjects. As you can see, I could just barely do a little bit now. But even as an adult, I think it is so interesting and it's so important for us to be able to have that second language, to be able to communicate, to do the things that you talked about, Paul, to be able to interact with other people in their native tongue as well, and for us to be able to better understand when we pick up a label, what that label says to us as well. So it's critical to everyday life. So what's going to be happening at the fair? When we turn up on February the 3rd, where is it going to be and what will we be experiencing?
So let's fast forward to next Friday. Take a trip to the future.
Sure.
And I want you to use your imagination. There is a cheerful, carnivalesque atmosphere in the courtyard of the Barbados Language Center. And we're not talking about Trinidad Carnival here, we're talking about traditional carnivals. There are going to be gaily colored booths clamoring for attention. There will be students wandering around engaging with exhibitors about their careers using a speed date format. So they'll have a specific time frame in which to find out information about their educational journey, about some of the experiences that they may have had, about their job description, etc. You will find students leafing through books on display by the National Library Service and also by Book Source, the Barbados Community College bookshop. You will see students learning about educational and scholarship opportunities, finding out more about cultural practices, sampling foods from different countries. And then, do you hear that? Mm-hmm. It's the pulsating rhythms of some Cuban music, because we are going to have a pop-up Cuban dance class session with Andres Pedroso. So he is Cuban. So we are bringing some authentic experiences to you. There are also going to be various cultural presentations, including one on Zouk. So we have something for those who are learning French as well. We're going to have a variety of workshops, including you might have the opportunity to learn some calligraphy, as well as learn about Chinese paper folding art. And there will also be a quiz. So those are just a few of the activities that you will find at our upcoming foreign language fair. And I should also mention at this time that the languages that we're focusing on are French, Spanish, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Mandarin. So it's at the Barbados Language Center in our courtyard area and the environ, the areas around there. And, you know, we're just so very excited about the event.
You know, I drive by the road, I will not see a sign that says Barbados Language Center. So tell me exactly how to get to the Barbados Language Center.
Well, there are two ways. If you enter from if you have an entrance just opposite Ilaro Court, and once you drive up the driveway, it's this first building on the left. You can't miss it. You will see the back of the building that you can see on our poster. You'll see the back of the building on the left as you drive into the college. You can't miss it. And if you come into our main entrance and you follow our driveway, once you get to our playing field, you look across the playing field, this large pink building, all of that is the Barbados Language Center.
Now I got you. Now I have your location exactly. Got it. Folks, we know exactly where to go now. And this is happening next weekend on the 3rd at the Barbados Language Center. Talk to me, Paul, about why. I know the why. I'm glad you're looking at a number of languages, you know, from not just Spanish and French, but Portuguese and Latin. Some ways I think Latin? What are you talking about? That used to be something old my parents would have studied. Why are you bringing that back up and why it's so important for that also to be a part of what our educational landscape offers?
I think you may have missed something. I don't think Lamar mentioned Latin. She mentioned Latin dance.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Mandarin.
Mandarin. Yes. That's a new offering at the center, which we're offering in conjunction with the Confucius Institute at the KFL campus. And it's proven to be a very popular course because, as you are probably aware, China is the place where a lot of the action is happening. There are many scholarship opportunities for our students, and so Mandarin is now our latest and very popular offering at the college.
So who comes to the fair? Who are you targeting with this?
So we're targeting students We're targeting students in 3rd to 5th form, those who are making decisions about what they're going to study next, so they have their options. Those who are doing their CXCs, so what am I going to do afterward? We want to present a variety of options to them so that they feel as though it is worthwhile to learn a foreign language. So even if you major in something else, we still want to carry the foreign language along with them to ensure that they are well-rounded and that they are marketable.
So secondary school students?
Yes, and our Barbados Language Center students as well will be a part of the fair. We have invited our secondary schools, both public and private secondary schools, and we'll be using a rotation system. So every hour there will be a number of schools which will come to visit. They've already made arrangements for their particular slots so that the students are not crowded. They have the opportunity to walk around, to feel comfortable, to engage, and just to obtain the maximum benefit from this experience.
So I can't just turn up, can I?
Well, you could be our specially invited guest, but next year, when we make it even bigger, then we'll be able to involve members from the community coming in and having some language taster sessions as well. And you can brush up on your French and your Spanish.
Good. I think it is so fascinating. Honestly, I really do. I think this language fair is going to be so important for so many reasons. And I want as many people as possible to really make themselves available for it from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, right there at the Barbados Language Center, right in the area. You know exactly what it is. Once you go onto the main complex, go up to the playing field and you look across, you see that big pink building that you see on your screen. That's the spot. Or if you just go opposite the Ilaro Court, the official entrance to Ilaro Court, you know, there's a road right across from there. Good. Take that road and it'll take you down to the Language Center as well. And so, Paul, talk to me about people who are enrolling and how many, are you getting a lot of people really enrolling in the Language Center to learn foreign languages?
Numbers have dropped off a little in recent times because now time was when we were the only entity offering offering language beyond fifth form. Now, many schools are offering language in the sixth form, but what we're finding is that the people who are coming to us are the people who want a little more than the standard language literature program. Our main program is called Languages for Business and Tourism. So it's not a traditional approach where people expect you to come and learn a language and go and teach. As a matter of fact, most of our graduates don't become teachers. They're working in a multiplicity of areas. If I am not mistaken, I think your Nadia Foster is one of our graduates. I think I taught her French a lot. I suspect, if it's the same person who's still at CBC, but I'm not going to dwell on that in the event that it is. I'm not going to put Nadia on the spot. But the idea is, within the context of what our mission is, it is to build the human resource of the country in order to be able to function in languages. So our remit is languages for business and tourism. So apart from those who come to us to learn French and Spanish and be encouraged a third language, usually German or Italian, we also offer courses to the students in commerce and hospitality, so that when they graduate, apart from their business competency or their hospitality or their culinary skill, they also have the ability to converse in a foreign language.
Should I enroll having had the secondary school experience, or can I come just wanting to learn a new language, Paul?
Yes, of course. We offer a different type. We have our associate degree program, which is for your post-16 people who've just done CSEC, French and Spanish. But we have a continuing ed program for adults, and we offer all our languages: French, German, Spanish, Italian, and the Mandarin. And eventually, we hope to offer Japanese, and with Barbados opening its efforts in Africa and in the Middle East and so on, we hope to offer Arabic and maybe one of the African languages as well, or maybe just Swahili, which will cover all of it. So certainly adults are welcome. We have an evening program, and we are very heavy in use of technology, so you can even learn your language online. You don't have to leave your home and rush from, I think you live in St. Peter, and rush from St. Peter to the language center in the evening. You go home, you have your evening drink, and you sit by your computer, and you can learn your French or Spanish, German or Italian from the comfort of your home.
My turn to correct you now. I'm from St. Lucie, but thanks for asking.
Even better. My father was from St. Lucie. So.
Good man indeed. And by the way, Nadia Foster, the one you spoke of, is the one who's working with me today. Indeed, that's the very Nadia Foster.
Exactly. So you must rush her and make her speak some French with you.
You got that right. You have that right. But I'm done here. That's exactly where we're going to have a lovely conversation in French. But this is what's possible, everybody. And certainly we want to have your children too be exposed to it. And, you know, it widens their scope for employment as well when they know another language. And so the Barbados Language Center is having that inaugural language fair on February the 3rd from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Already a number of schools have been booked, and so that's where they're going to be. They're going to be there because they want to be exposed to the books, to the profession, to all of the different dances and the cultural norms and bits and pieces of food. Just be immersed in the whole experience indeed, and in that they come out stronger and better for it as well, and far more marketable. It's a great opportunity, and if you want to learn another language, folks, the Barbados Language Center, I commend it to you indeed. Thank you, Ms. Blackman, Paul Blackman, who is the director of Barbados Language Center, and his trusty, handy tutor, Lamar Smith, indeed. I can't wait to hear what happens at Language Fair. I can't wait. So do come back and tell us how it went, okay?
We certainly will. Thank you, Person. Merci beaucoup. And I hope that the CBC team drops by and covers the event. Have a great day. Thank you.
Derrière. Not a problem indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back with the news in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MTV gives you more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
2.5 after 7 now, government's Boss Plus Bonds initiative started to pick up in the latter part of last year, with millions more being invested by individuals and entities. However, there's still room for improvement. That's according to the outgoing Central Bank Governor, Cleviston Haynes.
In relation to the Boss Plus, I think the last figure I saw was approximately 36 million has been taken up. I think we saw in December, we saw some pickup in demand. I was speaking to one or two players in the financial system who have indicated to me that it is their intent to also increase their demand for the bonds. So I think one is seeing some progress, slower than one would have liked, but you are seeing a little bit of progress in this regard.
Well, commenting on the pace of the uptake of the bonds, he acknowledged that there was a lot of uncertainty following the debt restructuring, and some of those people who felt disadvantaged have not yet come back into the market.
That's the reality of the situation. Other countries have gone through debt restructurings, and they've been able to resume either their capital market, or in the case of external debt restructuring, they've been able to resume. And my feeling is that Barbados will be no different, but we're taking a little bit longer than we had hoped. I think the situation was not helped by COVID, because the fiscal program which we had identified, which was for primary surpluses of about 6% for the first 3-4 years, would have brought the debt down faster, because you would have had these larger primary surpluses, and you would not have needed to do the borrowing that we had to do in order to support the budget over the COVID period. And I think from an optics perspective, if persons had seen that decline, I think that might have helped them to be more open to taking the bonds at this time.
The governor says even in the current challenging environment, both individuals and entities are still looking for investment opportunities, and he believes the Boss Plus bonds represent a productive option.
They have to believe that government will maintain its fiscal discipline. The whole notion of the debt anchor reaching 60% is critical to that mindset, because the only way to get to that 60% ratio is for you to maintain primary surpluses of a certain magnitude and for the economy to grow at the same time. So if we can get those two things happening, you are going to see the debt to GDP ratio fall. But does that mean the government doesn't need to borrow? No, it doesn't. Government will still need to borrow, because as I said in my remarks, what we are financing is really past deficits. Okay? You get a primary surplus, I may get a primary surplus, let's say I have a primary surplus of 500 million, but I may have debt service of $1 billion. So 500 of that surplus I'm going to use to finance the debt service, but I still need another 500 million. And that is really what governments need to finance. And it provides an opportunity for you to invest, but it also helps with the reduction of debt, whether it is debt in terms of the stock or debt in terms of the stock to GDP ratio, which is really the big indicator.
Hundreds more Barbadians are turning to the Welfare Department for help on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic. Evidence of this has been revealed by the Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey. According to him, the number of clients coming for welfare has doubled, putting additional pressure on the department to respond. He gave details during a meeting at the Radisson Aquatica to discuss the current homeless situation in Barbados.
Our statistics show that we went from 3,000 plus clients to 6,000 plus clients, almost a doubling of the clients that we see at the Welfare Department. Persons who came forward for support during the course of the last few years, the pressure has been immense. You may also recall that the government had increased the welfare grant by 40% to make sure that people were able to deal with the challenges, but in the circumstances since COVID, even that may need now to be reviewed.
We're also hearing that the Welfare Department has spent close to $2 million to house Barbadians in need. Minister Humphrey says that amount is close to double what the department has been spending on accommodation for its clients pre-pandemic.
The Welfare Department pays rent now for about 300 persons across Barbados, different houses, different apartments, 300 persons. And of course, there are still a number of persons who are coming forward seeking the government's support for assistance with rent. And that rent payment has increased since between 2018 and 2022 by almost 80%, from $1.08 million to $1.9 million. So there is great evidence that there are circumstances that are driving people to seek housing, and that we must be able to address those circumstances.
Barbados is working to ensure it meets set international standards through various pieces of legislation. The latest, the Animal Health and Veterinary Public Health Bill, was before the Senate for debate. Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, says these standards are critical to trade.
We are members of the World Trade Organizations, we're signatory members, and therefore have signed on to be compliant with the international trade rules. And in this context, Mr. President, and in this context, what the SPSS rules make provision for countries to be able to enact measures to ensure safety, public safety, to be able to ensure that animal products that are imported will be able to meet critical standards for public safety, which are good for all of us. All of us want to know that when we go to the supermarket and we purchase meat that has been imported, that someone has done the necessary checks.
Well, that's our news until now. We'll have more news here on TV at 12 noon in the CBC News Day. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So here we go, all things bright and beautiful. I won't go any further than that because we don't need to. Actually, we're going to Ball's Plantation this weekend for the upcoming Barbados Horticultural Society's annual Flower and Garden Show. Joining us to talk a little bit more about what you so look forward to, everybody, is the president of the Barbados Horticultural Society, Suzanne Ryan Graham. Good morning to you, Suzanne.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning to the committee members, and good morning to our BHS members. I hope you guys are up watching with me.
I'm sure they are, but they're probably also attending to their blooms that they're going to be showing this weekend.
Yes, we are hoping that they are. Today is really the deadline for bringing in your plants that you would have been growing all through the year, prepping for this event. So we've got the event coming up on Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and it's at Ball's Plantation. We've got exhibits from members and from the public. We have also got our affiliates. We've got the bonsai, which will be on display. It's the art of bonsai. You can come have a look at those wonderful displays. We also have the Barbados Association of Floral Arrangers, floral artists they are now, and they'll have a range of displays in our main hall. We'll also have the Barbados Orchid Society joining us with a full range of various blooms that's going to be displayed throughout the fernery in the main hall. And we also have the Barbados Cactus and Succulent Society who will have a range of display, which is always fantastic. So we're encouraging the public to come out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to be encouraged really and to be inspired with different techniques of gardening.
I am telling you, I know so many people show up both days and they really have a good time. It's almost difficult to get them out.
It's true, yeah.
Yes. But it must be good to be back, though, really.
It is fantastic to be back after a 2-year break. And I was just reading a document recently and realized this is actually our 45th show. And this year is also the 95th year of the Barbados Horticultural Society. So we're excited. We are back with a bang. There are going to be lots of exhibits. It's really going to be a fantastic show put on.
Yes.
And we've got some vendors. We've got quite a few vendors as well with local plants, various arts and craft, garden, and we've got some beautiful artists and craftsmen that make plant stand, plant pots. It's a variety. So come out again, be encouraged, be inspired, because there is almost everything that you'll need there for your garden, even advice as well.
But it's a good marketplace as well, because while you're there, yes, you purchase your pots and plants, but you also purchase your plants as well. And for those of you who may not think you have a green thumb, hands up in the air, it might very well be the place that it inspires you to start, to get to know more about how you can really make it bloom.
Absolutely, and that's what we are there to do, you know. So we encourage persons to come out and join the society as well. And in joining the society, you gain free entrance to this show, and well, to all the shows once you are financial. And we also have open gardens, so it's discounted rate for the open gardens as well. And this year we've got 4 open gardens, which is good. We didn't have any for the last 2 years, so to have 4 open this year is fantastic. So you can join as a member. There are different benefits. Again, you get connected with like-minded people. And like you said, if you don't have a green thumb, by the time you come and you engage, you know, you'll be motivated to at least go and try, if it's with the slightest thing, you know, that doesn't need a lot of care.
I have 4 sisters on this island, right? Who have themselves found themselves as horticulturalists.
Whoa.
So, and that's because of the visit to the same flower show as well. So this is fantastic. It's possible.
Yes.
And it's good to expose the young ones as well to this.
Absolutely.
Because there's such peace by watching something grow. Look at her reaction. I love it. Talk to me about it.
There is. I mean, garden, I find it so therapeutic. And everyone that does it, it's the same feeling. You can't be angry while you're tending to plants, you know. It's a zen zone. It is therapy. It's that peaceful space. And that's where we're encouraging person that has been nurturing these plants throughout the year, come and exhibit some of those pieces, you know. Showcase what you have, because there's nothing more rewarding than watching it grow from a seed or cutting, and now it's flowering, it's blooming, it's nice foliage, it's giving you fruit, and then you exhibit, and it's it's won a prize, you know. It's nice. It's a good feeling. So.
Truly labors of love, and that's what it's all about. But I don't want to get away from it. This Saturday and Sunday, Balls Plantation.
Correct.
Do we pay at the door, or do we get a ticket before?
No, we're still traditional. You pay at the door. It's $15 for adults. Children 12 and under, they're free. And again, if you're a member, it's free to members as well.
Right.
We're going to also have the BDF band. They're going to be there. We're going to have lots of floral displays, vendors, food, drinks, and the teas and cakes. That is a staple as well.
That's what it's known for.
Correct. Competition via the exhibits and much more. We're also going to have in attendance on Saturday our patron, the President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Brunella Mason, the most honorable.
Yes, indeed.
So there's lots to do.
Don't panic about parking, because there's a huge parking area there for those of you who are thinking, but how do I get there? Do I park on the highway? No, you don't.
No, you don't. And we are actually extending that area as well.
Really?
We're extending it into an arboretum. So there's plenty of space. We've also had some assistance this week as well in clearing a lot of it. So there's more than enough parking.
Yes.
Plenty.
Literally more than enough.
So come out, enjoy, have fun. Just look and see what's available. Learn. You know, it's a learning curve as well. So we're asking you to come out and support this BHS annual fundraising event. It's our biggest fundraising event of the year. Support local businesses and get connected to gardening groups. We just really want you to come out again, like I said, to be encouraged and inspired. So it's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And we're really looking forward to having everyone come and support this event.
Both Saturday and Sunday. While we're talking, we're showing pictures on our screens of people who've been to the flower show and garden. You know, they're really enjoying themselves and seeing what's possible. See yourself. You know what's possible. And what I love about the display is that it's in spaces where it's possible. It shows you what is possible. Practical application.
Absolutely. And that is the thing about these exhibits as well. Sometimes you might look at a plant or a couple of plants and think they wouldn't look good, or I wouldn't put them together. Then you go to a display or exhibit and you was like, wow, striking, it's different. Or placement in gardens as well. You wouldn't think of it, and then you're like, wow, I didn't know. I wouldn't think of that. And you always find no two gardens or no two plants grow the same in the same environment. So it's always something different. It's always awe and encouraging and inspiring. It's good.
You know, if you already have the space at home, you're doing this, you know, what is wonderful is that you can have a chat with the exhibitors as well. Say, hey, how is it you get your flowers to look so bright and beautiful? What is it that you do? So it's that level of exchange that occurs at the annual Flower and Garden Show on Saturday and Sunday. So it's more than just aping and saying, oh, look, this is nice. It's also an educational tour.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think it's so important for the younger people to come by. Are you seeing more and more interest from younger people?
Not as much as we would like to see, to be honest. The society itself is an aging group, and we are encouraging persons to come out and join younger persons. I mean, 12 and under, that's free. And we are encouraging more people to come out and join the society. There's just so much happening and so much to do. Last year, we did a plant extravaganza, and we were able to sign up over 35 persons, which is really good. But then coming out to the event, you're not really seeing them. So we're trying to figure out, okay, what's happening here? So people are signing up. They're being encouraged to sign up, but then they're not really coming through, you know. And we've had so many events last year. We've had plant exchange, we've had workshops, we've had plant sales, and different events, you know. So there's always something happening almost every month. But we need to get persons. Oh, I don't know if it's the timing. We need to now do some survey and see, you know,
see what's going on. That's what it is that we now need to do.
Correct, yeah.
But it's the Barbados Horticultural Society. Membership comes with benefits. You know, you guys hear me say this all the time. And the benefit is that you benefit from the years of experience. It's 95 years. That's a lot of experience. And a number of those people who've been a part of that journey up until now are still very much a part of it. And they can share from that experience as well. And so when you go to the Flower and Garden Show on Saturday or Sunday or Saturday and Sunday, you are going, because I don't think we could ever cover everything on one day.
That's true. And we do have a lot of people that come on Saturday and back on Sunday, you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's a really wonderful family outing. You know, you don't have necessarily to be a planter yourself, but you just love nature and you love beauty and you love all things like that. You can come. If you want to come just for the entertainment, that's all right too. If you just want to come for the tea and the cakes, that's also good too. But it's a great opportunity for you to bring the family out on the weekend. Let's get back out to doing lots of things outdoors as a family, as a group. And this is where you can start this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Balls Plantation for the upcoming Barbados Horticultural Society's Flower and Garden Show.
Yes.
And while there, buy the pots, buy the pans, buy the everything, gardening supplies, the plants, everything, right?
Yes, yes.
You said to me that we can also get not just interacting with the exhibitors to get some answers. Would you have the plant doctor there? Those kinds of people will be there?
Yes, we do have a few workshops going on. We also have Bath University. They're going to be doing a workshop on Sunday. It's showing a linkage between Bath in the UK and the Balls Plantation. So they're doing a workshop, education, and they're doing an exhibit as well. So there's lots to learn as well.
Interesting.
So always something happening and a reason to come out, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to mention, if you don't mind, our 4 open gardens that we're going to have as well. Those are in February. Sunday, February 12th, we have an open garden at the Flamboyant House, that is at Upton. Sunday, February 19th, we have an open garden at Bentham's House in St. Lucie. Sunday, 26th, we have Professor Clive and Julie Landis at Eden Crest in Kendall, St. John. And our last one would be in Sunday, March 5th, and that's at Fustic House in St. Lucie.
Nice.
And for these, you can be a member or non-member. Admission is $10 if you're a member, already a benefit of being a member, and $15 for non-members. And again, children 12 and under, they're free. These open gardens run between 2 to 6 p.m. And you can find more information on our Facebook page, Instagram, and such.
A lot happening indeed. I want to thank you so much, but I want to encourage as many of you as possible to be at the Balls Plantation this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, for the upcoming Horticultural Society's Flower and Garden Show. It's annual, starting at 9 in the morning till about 5:30 in the afternoon. The president is going to be there on the Saturday indeed, so be there. It's a great opportunity for you to come by. Bring the children under 12 years old. They're absolutely free. The BDF band, the floral displays will be there. There are vendors, food stalls, drinks on sale, teas, competitions, and a whole lot more. And there's ample parking indeed. You pay at the door. And when you pay at the door, you get to experience all within. Beautiful indeed. Thank you so very much, Suzanne Ryan Graham, President of the Horticultural Society. Thank you, really, and your membership for continuing to host really what is a spectacular display of the beauty of Barbados indeed through the work of your Horticultural Society. Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you, Pearson, for having us this morning. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
26 minutes now after 7 o'clock this Thursday morning. I am sitting no next to a celebrity. The Reverend Irma Ambrose joins me. Good morning to you, Rev.
A very good morning, Pearson, and morning to all of Barbados, the Anglican Diocese, everybody who's anybody, good morning.
Yes. She walked in here and the crew said, I watch you every Sunday.
Good grief.
No pressure, girl, no pressure. But good to see you yet again. And, you know, we're here for a very good reason. Because of St. Michael Deanery, you're having something really spectacular this weekend. What's going on?
Well, we are having a float parade. It's the first time, I believe, that the Anglican Church is doing something like this.
Yes.
And that's what it is, a float parade. Now, why are we having a float parade? Well, you know, the lockdown has locked us down. A lot of persons, well, the church was closed, as you well know. And it's a little difficult getting things back on track, even though we are all relieved. But more than that, it is about bringing more excitement into ministry and life. And it's an evangelism tool. Our diocese launched the MAP program late last year.
Yes, I remember.
Mission Action Plan. So this is one of the things that we in St. Michael Deanery are doing as we get on the map. So we are connecting map with being on the road and all these directions. And it's happening around this time because St. Paul Church, our patronal festival was this week. The feast day was actually yesterday. And so we came up with the idea that we should have a float parade and invite the entire St. Michael's Deanery to be part. And everybody maybe hear me talk about St. Michael's Deanery. What is that?
Yes.
All the churches, all the Anglican churches within the St. Michael Deanery, and they are St. Barnabas, St. Matthew's and the Resurrection, All Souls, St. Cyprian, St. Mary's, the Cathedral Church, which is the Mother Church, St. Michael and All Angels, St. Stephen's, Christ the King, St. Ambrose, that's not me, St. Ambrose, St. Leonard, and of course St. Paul. That's the composition of the churches in the deanery. So we've all come together to put this float together. What is the float? It is displaying the sacraments of the church. So we've themed it, the church is sacramental and safe. And that safe is in there because, you know, we're still in the COVID. We are still asking persons, yes, we have been afforded the privilege to not wear our masks. It's no optional. And so on and so forth. There's so many things that happened, and now we're trying to ensure that even though we're free, we still have to be careful. So that's the safety. But more importantly, the Anglican Church is a sacramental church, and when we say sacrament, we mean the outward visible sign of an inward spiritual grace. What is that? Well, in the church, there are 7 sacraments.
Yes.
2 of them were given by our Lord and Savior. So the first is baptism.
Right.
Unless you are baptized, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So baptism. And then there is Holy Communion. As often as you do this in remembrance of me. So every Christian needs to be baptized. And every Christian should take the body and blood. And when we talk about sacraments, so the outward visible sign in baptism would be the water. The water symbolizing the washing away of sin and welcoming into the Lord's family. That's the outward visible sign. But we could go in an ocean of water and then turn out 10 devils.
That's right.
So it is the inward spiritual grace, which we rely on, God's grace. That source and that power that is outside of ourselves. That is what will make things work. So you have to be connected to God. Okay, so that's what that is all about. And with regards to the Holy Communion, the bread and the wine. The bread and the wine become the body and blood. And you are what you eat. So the more of Jesus we eat, the outward visible sign, the more like him we become. So when we come up, we should not be eating bread and wine. You know, some people say, oh, I ain't getting none.
Yes.
You know, but it's not like that. It's you believe now this is the body and the blood of Christ. So the more of Jesus you eat, the more of him you become. That's the outward visible sign. Again, God's spiritual grace. So those are 2. And then we have the others. And the others are penance and it's confession. reconciliation.
Yes.
And Lord knows we need a lot of reconciliation
We
in
do.
our nation, in our world,
Mhm.
because conflict is something that has to happen, but it can be resolved. We could reason together, we could forgive, we could be patient. So in penance, there's confession and there's the anointing that happens, and that's the outward visible sign. And then there's unction. What is that?
You got that right.
It's the anointing.
Yes.
When people are sick or going through difficult moments, we pray. And we have healing services and so on and so forth. The outward visible sign in the holy unction is the oil, the anointing with the oil. And that is also going to be displayed. I do not know how these displays are going to look. I'm sure
yes.
all the creativity and all the imagination that people could have is how this will happen.
Right.
So then there is the sacrament of marriage, and we know the ring is the outward visible sign, and they have all kinds of fancy rings. But
Yes.
child, if you ain't got God in this story
That's right.
as the anchor, the third strand, nothing happening.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so
yes.
the inward spiritual grace. So the outward visible sign, the ring has no end, and that's how love is supposed to be. No end. You know, bearing all things.
You know it.
So we can have a bride and a groom.
Oh, well, that's
Yes,
wonderful.
that's St. Matthew's and Resurrection, because that's a twin parish. So
Right.
they obviously are the ones who are going to be displaying that one,
Yes,
the marriage
yes, yes.
sacrament. And then there is the sacrament of holy orders, ordination.
Right.
Then people like me get ordained, you know.
So all of this, these are the themes that you're going to be covering through the float parade.
Yes, please.
And so it is going to be spectacular on the road.
on the
Where do you
road.
start from, and talk to me the route so that people can get ready to
yes, the
enjoy
route.
this
Yes.
wonderful, spectacular parade of the float, and then it ends with the rally. We'll get to that later, but talk to me about the route for the rally.
Now, the route for the
parade.
rally, we begin at 10 o'clock. At least we want to begin at 10
Yes.
o'clock, leaving St. Barnabas Church. And that's just across from here,
Yes.
CBC. Yes, St. Barnabas Church. And then we go on we turn left onto the ABC Highway, travel down to Bussa, and everybody should know Bussa. That's the landmark right there. And we're going down 2 Mile Hill, continuing down Government Road to Tweedside Road, turn left on Halls Road, and continue on and right to the roundabout on Constitution Road, continuing down St. Michael's Road. And St. Michael's Road, the cathedral right there.
Right.
Turn left on Bridge Street and right on the Wharf Road down Princess Alice Highway.
Whoa.
Past Pelican Village, so we're going all the way down so.
Yes.
Turn right on Prescott Boulevard, right on the Redmonds Drive.
Right.
Turn right onto Cheapside.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
And continue to Cumberland Street, turning right on Princess Alfred Street. And then we turn onto Lower Broad Street, continuing up Broad Street, and turning right on Bridge Street, and continue to Province Street.
I've got you, yeah.
Yes, and onto Bay Street. Then we continue up Beckles Road, turn left at the lights, and left into St. Paul's Avenue.
Right.
Onto St. Paul's Conference Center.
I see where you are. I can see it. So you're going to come downtown, come across the bridge, go down Princess Alice, come around there, and as you'll pass with the old Alico building and come through Cheapside and so forth, all through town, up Lower Broad Street, onto Broad Street, back onto the bridge, and onward we go to Bay Street.
Onward we go. You
This
sound
is-
like a real Bajan.
I'm a I see all of that. I can see
Yes,
it.
we
so
sure
you use
can.
my magic. So I
Exactly.
saw it. And all along the way, you'll be making some stops at some points as well,
Yes,
right?
yes. So our first stop is going to be by St. Mary's Church, that is Jubilee
Yes,
Gardens, Jubilee Gardens, and some of the young people, most of them from St. Barnabas Church, they'll do a liturgical dance. And then we're on the road again, and we're going to distribute flyers. St. Barnabas, they are portraying the sacrament of Holy Confirmation, and they're going to do a dance there. When we get up to Cape Shepherd, which is Duty Free Barbados now, there's another stop. And we're going to have some diocesan dancers. So all persons from whichever church, whichever part of the country you're from will be part of that composition. And then Heroes Square, right? Parliament Buildings?
Yes.
That's the next one. We're going to mime presentation. And that miming is going to be done by the composition of St. Leonard and All Souls Church. Right, so they're going to be miming the sacrament of penance, the confession, reconciliation thing. And once we leave there, then we are journeying right on to my hotel. Is right, the chapel on the bay.
That's right. That's right. So all along, we want it's a Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning from 10 o'clock in the morning right through, and we want you to respect the parade. The parade, folks. You know, the parade is going to be on. It's a float parade. You take some time. It's not a party, but it's a sacred parade nonetheless. But it's celebratory. And we want you to really give your support all along the way. Those of you who are in cars and so forth, just stop for just a moment. Let the parade come through.
Give us a little time. You know, don't honk the horn. We are coming through.
Be patient. Be patient. You'll
and we
get
won't take up much of your time.
Exactly. So that's happening. But you end with a rally.
Yes, we end with a rally because we appreciate that everybody. Although there's some persons who would like to be, they think about walking in the float, but it's not that kind of float yet. Maybe next year we'll see.
Yes.
But we are starting with this one. And so when we get to the church, we will be welcomed by Steel Pan. St. Leonard Church, they have a Steel Pan group. So they'll be there on Steel Pan. And we have a little break so everybody can get whatever. There's a few refreshments on sale. And then the Church of Christ the King, they're going to do the entire pageant, miming.
Wow.
And narration. Wow. It's going to be splendiferous. So if you miss it on the road, then you will see it at the conference center.
Yes.
So please bring a chair.
Yes.
So you can, and your umbrella, because we are dealing with the sun, not the rain.
Yes.
Lord, you know.
Amen.
We want a cool day. A cool day. So that's what it's all about.
And the rally starts at 1 o'clock or thereabouts.
Yes, 1 o'clock or thereabouts. And if there are persons who like some prayer, because prayer is we never have enough prayer.
Yes.
Okay? So there's going to be an opportunity for that as well. So if persons want prayer, you will be able to go inside the church, and that is being organized as well.
In other words, this is not open just to Anglicans alone. This is open to everyone, anyone, regardless of your denomination, your faith. You'll be a part of the big float parade and rally, which the rally is the conclusion of the float parade. The rally starts around 1 o'clock at the St. Paul's Conference Center. You enter through there by the Bayville Hospital.
Yes.
You come through there. I've been there. And they have lots of parking down there as well, in case you didn't know. It's a really lovely building in there. So you can come to the conference center. It's behind the church, but you have to enter on that side from Beckles Road. That's the road?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And there you go. You're part of it indeed.
Exactly. And the rally, the float parade, everybody's involved. It is, and it's a fun event. Who says that church has to be boring and dull? Oh no, our faith is very exciting. It's what you make it.
That's right.
So we have a composition of persons. There's no generation gap here. We have bridged that gap. So guess what? I have Instagram information. I do not know what I'm doing with this, but we have Anglicans _float _parade BB. And we are also going to be on Facebook, Anglican Float Parade, so you can check out those things. And Instagram, I don't even have Instagram, but the thing is, it's 7 Sacraments, hashtag.
Yes.
Hashtag 7 Sacraments 246 at gmail.com. All of that. And we're going to be updating as we go along, taking photos and comments, and it's going to be holy.
It's going to be spectacular. Spectacular. Don't worry about it. Spectacular. And light refreshments will be on sale at the rally. So don't forget that. So even if you're a little bit hungry or peckish, light refreshments will be on sale as well.
Definitely.
Reverend Ambrose, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I wish you and your team the very best with this. I pray for good weather and health. We don't have any illnesses or anything for anybody, but the parade starts at 10 o'clock in the morning from St. Barnabas all the way through town and so forth, touching certain spots. ending with a rally at the St. Paul's Conference Centre on Beckles Road, on Bay Street, as we call it. It's an activity of the St. Michael's Deanery, all part of the patronal week of activities for St. Paul's Anglican Church indeed. And I wish you the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, awesome weekend, and see you very soon.
Thank you very much indeed. Morning Barbados comes back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
60 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to the National Council on Substance Abuse. As you know, this is Drug Awareness Month under the theme, Our Workplace, Our Future, Our Future, Our Workplace. And so we're joined this morning by Laura Lee Foster, who is the Research and Information Officer with the NCSA. Ms. Foster, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I know that coming up on the 31st of January, that's where I'm going to start this morning, you'll be launching the Barbados Drug Information Network. What's that about?
So yes, Person, on the 31st, we actually will be releasing our 2021 report from the Barbados Drug Information Network. And the network is a very important tool which we use to collect and disseminate information about the drug situation in Barbados. It's been in existence for quite a while. This is our 11th report. And it gives us a good indication of what is happening because we have data from our treatment centers. We also have data from what we call our supply reduction sector, so persons like the police, as well as what is happening within the court system in terms of drug offenses, and also what we do at the NCSA in terms of our prevention efforts.
the question is, what do you now do with this data that you've captured?
So we're living in an era where we like to use what we call evidence-based approaches. So these are the gold standard because we know that they're backed by research. And the data can be used in terms of our programming, but it also can be very important for policymakers. So it can guide the decisions that they make, and it can also help with, things at the community level as well. So not just for us, but other stakeholders can use it in their programming as well. So it really is a very versatile tool, and the data is very important.
All right, so that's the release of that information happens on the 31st of January at your conference center, your training room there, and I hope it doesn't shock us. I'm supposing it might surprise us, but at least we know that with this information, the NCSA is now better armed to be able to have programs that respond to what the information reveals. And speaking of which, a part of what you're doing to respond to what you already know based upon what you have experienced by those who come to access your service is a food drive. Your manager, Betty Hunt, was on with us last week and she talked about it happening this coming weekend, the 28th, at a couple locations. Talk to me a little bit about what you're looking to have people do.
Okay, so as you said, we are having the food drive because we know through our work that many persons have, problems meeting their basic needs. So things, as you say, like food, but also personal hygiene products and so on. And persons can't focus on their treatment or do well if their basic needs are not met. So this was something we realized is a great need within the persons who come to our agency for counseling. So we would have started our food drives back in 2021. We would have put together hampers and so on to help some of our clients, and we've expanded. So we were able to help quite a number of persons, I think just over 40 families by the end of last year. And so we want to do more. So that was why we then, we had this thought that maybe if we go bigger and we ask for donations from persons shopping in the supermarkets, we may be able to expand our reach as well. So that said, we will be at my stores, Warrens, Worthing, and Sunset Crest on Saturday between the hours of 9 and 3. And we're hoping to collect some non-perishable items to put into our hampers that we'll be distributing in February. So we will have a list and we'll meet you there. We'll talk to you, give you a little bit more information about our food drive and where our initiative started, and then show you some of the items that would be helpful to us in our hampers.
You've created that shopping list, and I want to, if we can, folks, we can share the folks with everybody watching. They're looking for things like dairy products, evaporated milk, for instance, cereals and grains like oats, dried goods, rice, chow mein, macaroni and cheese dinners in the boxes, dried peas. The shopping list is right there on your screen. Canned foods, tuna, sardines, corned beef, luncheon meat, canned vegetables, beverages like teas and mixed drink mixes, toiletries, which you just spoke about, bath soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, toilet paper, and detergents, laundry detergent. These are things to help lift someone's dignity because we feed them and we bathe them, so to speak. We keep them clean and tidy. We've learned that from the Bible. We can do it ourselves in person when we go to Massey Warrens, Worthing, or Sunset Crest, Whole Town Sunset Crest, for your shopping this Saturday between 9 o'clock and 3 in the afternoon. The National Council on Substance Abuse officers will be there. You will see them. They'll look just like that. The shirt that Laurie is wearing, they'll identify themselves very easily. But look at the shopping list. And from the shopping list, you purchase something or some things and you make your donation. Indeed, all of these are going to really empower people to bring their dignity back, to help those in need. And these are people who have been identified by the NCSA as people desperately in need, and the organization wants to be able to help indeed. Laura Lee Foster, I want to thank you for again reminding us of who we are as a people, how we are as generous people indeed, and want to be our brother's keepers. We want everyone to really get a hold of the shopping list. Take a look very carefully at your screen to see what they're looking for. Evap milk, cereals, dried goods, canned foods, and beverages like tea and drink mixes, as well as toiletries and detergents as well. So please, 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 we thank you, but give from your shopping this weekend indeed. Laura Lee Foster, the Research and Information Officer at the NCSA. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward also to the release of the data on the 31st of January.
Thank you, Pearson, for having us as always.
You're very welcome indeed. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back to unscramble some words in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Are you ready for this? Are you truly ready for this? You know the numbers to call, right? 228-5562 or 228-5563. We're back at it. We're back at it. We left you with this one yesterday. We hope you did your homework, and we hope you have an answer bright and early. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this when you unscramble the letters on your screen at the moment? What word can you make when you unscramble those letters? 228-5562, 228-5563 are the numbers to call. And when you do, let me know your name now, and let me know where you're watching us from. 228-5562 or 63. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. Villy?
Pardon me?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Who's calling?
Monica.
Monica?
Yes.
Monica, you're very sultry this morning. What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, that's just how you are, right?
Yes.
All right, Monica. Mons.
No, I'm not sulky.
Not sulky, sultry. That's all right. So, Mons, what word do you see on your screen?
It is,
You better get this right. What word is it?
It is, the word is not Tamasava, is no?
What word is it?
A few moments later.
Monica, what word is it?
I had the word that got my head.
Pearson, I don't know. Okay, no problem. Here, Mons, you try again another time, okay? Thank you, Monica. Monica ain't got a clue. She got on the air and then she stumbled. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Come, tell me the word you see on your screen. Once you've unscrambled the letters, easy, easy, easy. This is so easy. I am shocked that you haven't yet figured it out. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Okay, listen to the telephone. Listen to the telephone only. Who's calling?
Madison.
I beg your pardon? Madison. Madison gone? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Madison. Madison. Anyway, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Such a lovely name, isn't it? Madison. 228-5562 or 228-5563. This word is going to hold on till tomorrow? Come on, man. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. That was not me just now.
Is you know. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me. How are you doing?
Okay.
Good, good, good. Yes, Billy, what's the word?
It looks like adventure.
But what is the word?
Yesterday.
But what is the word?
Adventure.
You're doting yourself now. It is adventure indeed. Thank you, Billy here.
Okay, thank you.
Good girl. That's my friend here. St. Lucie girl indeed. Wait, you're telling me, look at, there's a new one on the screen. There's a new one on your screen. I see two words. But that is not the word I'm looking for, folks. Outsource is not the word. Those letters are scrambled. I want another word. Yes, indeedy, I do. I do. What word can you make now? Looking at your screen, I said I do. I want to hear from you the word you can make when you unscramble the letters on your screen. My production crew is trying to give me trouble. So tell me now, what word can we make? I do know. This one is easy. So what word can you make when you unscramble these letters, huh? I know this is tough, right? Because clearly your mind is now in a warp because you recognize the two words you see on your screen. But I want one word from this phrase on your screen at the moment. So when you take outsource and you scramble it all up again, what word do you discover? This is so easy. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you?
Oh, I am well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am well myself.
Great. And who's calling?
This is Ricky, and I'm calling from St. George.
My friend Ricky. Is this the same Ricky?
Yes, it is, Pearson. Who else could it be?
All right, buddy. It's only you. So let me hear you now, Ricky. Prove to me that you know this word.
I'm going to take a wild guess.
Go ahead.
To me, it looks like courteous.
Outsource looks like courteous, do you?
Yes, it does.
And your reason for coming up with that is?
Because
you can't think of any other word? No, don't tell me that's what it is. You don't know yet. I haven't told you if you're right or wrong. So you couldn't come up with any other word than courteous?
No, Pearson. From looking at it, that's all I can come up with.
What is your strategy for trying to unscramble letters? You have a strategy?
Not exactly, but there are some words, some that, when you see them and you start to pick out certain letters, you say, it will have to be this, and then, you formulate it and you get it. So that's what I got out this morning.
Ricky, you're sharp. It is indeed courteous. Well done, my brother. Thank you so much, indeed. You're welcome. So by the way, when you go shopping at Massey Worthing, look for Ricky. Look for Ricky there indeed. That's it for today. So I have some more for you another time, okay? Don't you panic. We have lots of words. Want to let you know today's Thursday, so we're going to Q in the community today, aren't we? We're going to Shorey Village in St. Andrew to the Conrad Hunt Cricket Sports Club. That's where we shall be today for Q in the community. Of course, you could take the bus from gate number 1 of the Granville Williams bus terminal. So Q in the community is on today at the Conrad Hunt Sports Club in Shorey Village, St. Andrew. If you don't drive yourself, take the bus from gate number 1, the Granville Williams bus terminal in town, and the buses will definitely take you to that spot and they'll bring you back. So you don't have to hurt your head about transportation at all. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. My production crew has included today my producer, Nadia Foster, the French-speaking Nadia Foster. Technical director has been Samuel Mason. Rural Ford has been here. So to our sound engineer, Christopher Blemon, and at Master Control, Tamisha Green. I'm Pearson Bowen. For all of them, to each of you, we say thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.